This is what it does when you lock the doors. I guess it's probably got some sort of a pattern turn signal deal as well. Alien Cat House Bravo, what's up? So after checking out these lights, turn signal on the right hand side is missing an LED. And take a look at what the temperature is in Death Valley right now. 111. Look at this. 11:30 at night, just chilling out in the road. What are you doing? All right, climbing up to the highest point in Death Valley. And yeah, lights need adjustment, but one of the LEDs is out for the turn signal, so I already got to return that. I may just switch back to stock. Those are pretty foolproof, and I don't got to worry about stuff going bad. Made it to the Mahogany Flat Campground. A little bit of a rough road. I'm gonna find a spot to set up, to go to sleep for a few hours, then wake up and do the highest hike in Death Valley. Just started walking, struggling because of the elevation. I think after the first mile, you start to get above the tree line. So, should be there soon. Holy crikey. It's gonna be tough. Look who's hanging out on the trail. Anybody that knows me pretty well knows that I can't stand these things. I mean, if you just came across them like this, that's fine. But when they get aggressive and the fangs come out and they chase you down the trail, it's when they get out in front of your car or motorcycle at nighttime that drives me crazy. I can't believe it's just chilling out there while I'm talking. About 40, 50 feet, maybe about 30. Look at them. Look at them satellite dishes. Do I smell good? You want some candy? Just not even giving a damn. You know, I've got like a light cold, or I had this kid. I say kid. This kid on a tour the other day, coughing up a storm. Of course, everybody's gonna get that. So, ever since I gave up carbs, I don't really get sick that much anymore. So even now, it's just a light nuisance. But when I started coming up this trail at the altitude and dryness in the throat, kicking out a little bit of mucus. And I almost gave up. Plus, I've made one of the biggest mistakes. I forgot caffeine. But now that I've gotten up, I think, past the initial hard part, like it's not as steep right now, I think I'll be doing some level hiking for a bit. It's getting really pretty, getting into the green. And you're looking back down into Death Valley. Anyway, now that I've seen this, this is motivation to keep going. So this is a 14-mile hike. I left Vegas, I don't know, sometime around 7 o'clock last night. Got up to the trailhead camping area around midnight. Having a mechanical issue with the van. I think the exhaust broke again. And not a bother. This is absolutely stunning up here. All right, this is a bear of a hike. That's looking down into Death Valley. The trail, so far, it's all just been along the side of the mountain. Keep in mind, video majorly flattening this out, but pretty steep. If you were to make one misstep and fall, you'd be very screwed. But brutal, but we keep pushing on. I thought I was going to be able to do this hike in 4 hours for 14 miles. Now I'm reconsidering. Heart rate around 150 beats per minute. And you walk for a bit on the steeper parts, stop to breathe, get your heart rate down, get your oxygen back up. This is no joke. I see why I couldn't get anybody to commit to doing this hike. But we will carry on. All right, this particular area is skirting around Rogers Peak. So, for the government, military, national park, I don't know if that's has anything to do with cell phone service for the general public. Oh, look at this. Look at that chunk of quartz. And some of it is running down the hill here and even has some iron oxide in it. So, could be some gold up here. All right, some of the flowers up here are kind of sporadic, but wow, even the cactus. So you got blue, purple, cactus. Whatever this is, so I can look these up later. Really pretty. Every once in a while you get the faint smell of the flowers. So, you know, they're working hard to reproduce, get whatever pollinators up here they can. Heck yeah. Awesome view. This is so pretty up here. So glad I didn't quit. Looks sort of like bristlecone pines. Down the distance, Sierra Nevadas. I think are my favorite mountains. What a view. And you can see down into Death Valley. I say Death Valley, I'm sorry, Panamint Valley. And we get a little downhill. A little bit of a rest. It's so pretty out here. This just makes me love Death Valley even more. Anybody that knows me, Death Valley is my favorite national park. I mean, down below in the bottom of the valley, I bet if you were out late in the day, peak temperatures, you would experience, I don't know, at least 5 to 10 degrees, maybe even more, hotter than whatever the official reading is because of the, you know, being close to the radiant heat coming off the ground, which is hotter than the official temperature readings that we get. So you get those crazy temperatures, and I've already seen 120 in the beginning of June. And then you can come up on top of these mountains and probably be lucky to see 70 degrees up on top of Telescope Peak here, as a guess, 11,049 feet. All right, we gotta keep moving. Gotta stay hard. Look at this view. This is the trail. Vegetation's getting really shallow now. A few patches of trees. This. That's the dry lake bed of Panamint Valley. And it's kind of hazy. I don't know if it would show up, but Panamint Springs. It's probably about right there. Of course, the silhouette of the Sierras. Not the silhouette. Well, sort of. I mean, it's not super clear out. Rogers Peak, named after John Rogers, the guy that hiked out of Death Valley with William Lewis Manley. Get supplies, survey the route, and come back into Death Valley and save the Arcane and Bennett parties. Or the Arcane Bennett party. So awesome up here. Can't get over it. The smell. It smells nice and fresh. All this ground vegetation. Hopefully get a cell phone signal. See how far I am. I think I might be halfway. 3.5 miles. I know it gets steep up towards the end. So this is relatively flat here in the midsection. The way we wish we all were. Actually, I'm pretty much there. Hopefully coming down is going to be really fast, since it's all mostly downhill. Usually go pretty fast on the descent. So a lot of my uncharted territory to explore in Death Valley. I haven't done all the hikes and every single canyon out here. There's a guy on Facebook, Hiker Dan. Take a look at what he does, because he seems to really cover ground out here in Death Valley. But down here in the western and southwestern part of the Panamint Range, I mean, you have a lot of old mining routes over here with really cool cabins. Get up above the desert floor so you can escape the heat. And that's much of what I still need to explore. So now that the van's getting close to being done, I'm going to be doing a lot of this when I get free time. We got ourselves a bristlecone, ancient bristlecone pine. a sight to see. But after dealing with the van lately, I'm seriously considering going back to stock components. I'll leave the methanol injection on there just to keep the valves clean, since it's a direct injection motor, and then run a milder tune and just be done with it. Be reliable. I'm so tired of like yesterday driving into Death Valley. I didn't think I was going to make it up here. Right by the Mesquite Flat sand dunes on the highway, there's some bumps where the pavement is it's like pushing together. It's like expanding with the heat, or maybe drooping and causing some seams that are lifting up. And yeah, it's kind of annoying. You're driving through and you start getting the bumps, but I mean, that did something to the van that put it into limp mode. I thought I blew one of the pipes on the turbo off, some of the turbo piping, because I just had the intercooler mounted. And I basically idled it for, I don't know, a mile and a half to get to the sand dunes. And then once I got there and I could get off the road, I cycled the key a couple times just to reset it. And then it fired back up like normal, like nothing had happened. And I just had the new motor put in, the turbos, refreshing it so I can get another 400,000+ miles out of it. Makes me wonder how much further I could have went had I not gone crazy with the performance tuning. So I got to make a decision. If I can get the exhaust shop to build an exhaust that's quiet enough, I'm tired of the noise, and that it's not going to break, and then do the custom turbo piping to, again, just make everything fit properly, make the air flow smoothly if I want to do the big horsepower. Because I do use this thing for work. That's the main purpose of it. I want to get the damn thing finished so I can start building the next rig for work. So I've got to make a decision if I want to dial it way back and get my reliability way up, or hope that some of this custom work will pay off in a nice, robust, high power setup. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about right now. After driving these, testing out these electric cars lately, it's pretty awesome that you can just jump in an electric car and then you don't have to worry about anything. Well, except for the charging. That really stinks. But yeah, somebody make a hybrid setup that can be retrofitted into, like a truck like what I'm in, or car, a project hybrid train that's super robust. It's going to give you efficiency, good power. Internal combustion or electric, to me, are not really the way. Hybrid setup is definitely the way to do it. I think Toyota's on the mark with what they're doing, and Honda now jumping on the bandwagon, and Korean manufacturers, they're getting into it. Haven't tested one of their hybrids yet, but every time I get into a Toyota hybrid, whether it's the minivan or a Camry, Corolla, Even the Prius, the new Prius, everybody, you know, because I'm a bit of a motorhead, you know, people like to give me shit for the Prius, but that latest Prius, not too bad. 115 mile per hour top speed. I don't know if I paused the video of that, but I just paid a speeding ticket off the other day because of it. Anyway, keep on keeping on. I haven't moved much from the last clip. Took a break. Water, calories, salt. But looking out in the distance, I believe that to be Trona, California. Most positive. Yeah, it's definitely what it is. And then still looking through the Panamint Valley. Ridgecrest is not too far off. Same for the China Lake bombing and gunnery ranges. It's fairly close to here. And then, of course, I've been pointing out the Sierras and the Panamint Valley, and the dry lake bed. And then this is Wild Rose Canyon that you drive up to get to the charcoal kilns and the Mahogany Flats. This ridge with the green is Hunter Mountain, where William Lyle Hunter, the guy that surveyed Mount Whitney, to claim it as the tallest mountain in the lower 48 states of the U.S. And then looking out this way, way into Death Valley. I think even Racetrack Valley is visible, but probably wouldn't come out on the camera. But this is looking up to where Scotty's Castle is up in the back there, and Ubehebe Crater. Just can't get over the views. Fresh air, nobody out here, not many bugs, very peaceful. And I'm 2 hours in, and I've done 4.5 miles. Actually carrying a decent pace, better than I thought. So hopefully within the next hour and a half I'll be up to the top, but the last part is the hardest part, I believe, as you switch back up the mountain. But we'll see. Less than 3 miles to go to get there, and then I'm gonna freaking fly back down. It'd be so cool to get dropped off up here and to be able to keep hiking all the way down into the valley below. This trail is just, love it. All right, resume when we get something interesting later. All right, I am now on the saddle of the Panamint Mountain Range, and looking back into the Panamint Valley, and then into Death Valley in the Badwater Basin. So if you zoom in, little tiny like finger off of the salt flat, that's to the Badwater parking lot, which means Dante's View is right up above. But I'm somewhere in the high 9,000 foot range right now, and still finding cacti. Desert vegetation that gets covered in snow in the winter. Scenery. I can see a road down there going into this canyon. I have to look at the map. I think it might be Hanapah Canyon. Got ourselves a little flower patch up here. And cacti still. Some bugs. Seen some butterflies, some tarantula hawks. Those little sweat bees. Whatever you call them. Really pretty. Really steep going down into the valley. All right, check out the trail. I think that's Bennett Peak. Oh, struggling. Bennett Peak. And once you get down around the other side, this is what I've already done. You can see it going down the mountain. There you go, trail. Alright, we'll keep on keeping on. Every time I start to feel a lack of motivation, I'm channeling the David Goggins catchphrase, which is just hilarious to me. I've been seeing these cool grasshoppers up here. Really noisy too, but nice little bit of orange on the wings. I see how close I can get before it flies. Maybe makes its noise. Oh my God, my legs. Dang. I guess you're right. I'm not gonna hurt you. Pretty cool. Nice, beautiful bristlecone pine. Awesome trees. Another one. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the top. As I get closer to 10,000 feet, it's getting tough. I get tired. Oh goodness. Why I forgot the caffeine. Oh well. I'll push on along for a little bit. I might go until I hit like exactly 10,000 feet and then start working my way back. I am exhausted. I made it as high as I'm gonna go. I made it to 10,000 feet and I am just exhausted. I think for doing this type of an activity, I'd be better off with not doing keto. So I'm gonna do a hike like this again, which I have to do this again to get to the top. I'm definitely gonna carb load the day before and have carbs and caffeine while I'm out here. I am completely wiped out. And I gotta hike, I think it's 6 miles back. So I'll have done a 12-mile hike. This will be the longest high elevation hike I've done. The other one was the Mount Whitney trail, the Lone Pine Lake, but that was only a 6-mile round trip, and that was actually not bad at all. This is tough. All right, I'm gonna start working my way back down. Home stretch. Sometimes it's amazing just to see something as simple as this.